Okay, Sean, I have two questions for you.
All right.
Have you ever heard of tatting? All right, I got the answer to that one. Second question, when was the last time you sent someone a handwritten note just because?
You know, I can't remember.
Then you need to visit Chris Rush of Designer Notes. Chris is doing her part to revive two art forms that have lost ground in popularity, and her efforts will have you pulling out a pen and stamp in no time.
Take that one.
Chris Rush and her husband Alan are packing up hundreds of cards to take to Sunfest, a yearly tradition.
We still go to the good shows. We really think that Sunfest is an excellent show. It was an excellent show for me last year.
Chris is the artist behind Designer Notes, a combination of two very different art forms: tatting, which is a technique to make lace with a series of knots, and letter writing.
I've made a lot of linens. Actually, did some tatted lace on my daughter's wedding gown, which was quite a project.
Chris says just finding someone to teach her tatting was difficult.
We have found that when you talk to people, they know their grandmother who did tatting. They knew an aunt who did tatting, but they didn't pass it down. I said, why do you think that is? Oh, well, I tried and it was way too hard to do. I just couldn't pick it up. And it is tricky.
Chris received a card from a friend that included a lot of little tatted flowers on it.
And I thought, gee, you know, nobody really wants to buy these linens that I'm making because they didn't want to take care of them. Maybe I'll try making some note cards.
Chris first used stencils to put an image on her card and then tatted some embellishments.
My first one was a little black cat, and those did seem to sell, so I just expanded on it over the years.
Chris says the stencils didn't allow her to add details to her picture, so she started drawing them freehand.
My son told me about how I could actually draw something and then put it onto the computer and print them.
And even though the cards are printed out from the computer, each gets Chris's personal touch. Inspiration for the designs comes from everything around her.
I've found some things in my grandmother's old designs that she had done years ago. Nature, a lot of birds. I love to draw birds, and it's a variety of things. A linen pillow, I might incorporate that design into a fall scene.
Chris says her dog designs are pretty popular, as well as florals and birds.
Depends on where you're going, you know, what kind of crowd you're talking about.
And much like tatting, Chris says letter writing has become a dying art. But with these cards, she hopes to change that.
We're so into the internet and sending email and texting, and it's really too bad. And people say to me, how can you have a business with this? And because it is a dying art, but there are people out there that really love to send note cards.
And to the people who tell Chris they don't send notes to people anymore, she has a reply that really makes them think.
Don't you love to receive a note card? And they say, oh yeah, it's so special when I get one. And I said, yeah, and your friends and family would love for you to send them one too. And because that means you're special. You know, it's a really special gift to give to another person.
Now, Chris says she doesn't do the craft show circuit as much as she used to, but her note cards can be found in shops across the country, including Nest in Berlin.
Wow, those cards are beautiful pieces of art that take some serious skill.